Narcissistic abuse doesn't leave bruises that others can see. It carves into the mind and spirit, often quietly and unnoticed by the outside world. For those who've lived under the emotional rule of a narcissist, survival meant adapting, changing not just thoughts and emotions, but also behaviors in daily routines. This video explores the subtle but powerful ways narcissistic abuse rewires a person's life. These changes might look like harmless quirks or personal preferences to others. In truth, they are the emotional fingerprints left behind by manipulation, gaslighting, and long-term emotional neglect. This isn't just a list of habits. It's a deeper look into how trauma shapes behavior, and more importantly, how reclaiming safety, trust, and self-worth is possible. On hypervigilance, always questioning what's said. Trust, once broken consistently, becomes fragile. After enduring gaslighting or emotional invalidation, believing words at face value no longer feel safe. Compliments, reassurances, even neutral statements often come with a sense of suspicion. The mind begins to read between the lines, looking for hidden intentions or potential traps. This hyper-awareness is a survival instinct developed in the chaos of narcissistic control. Over time, this becomes second nature. You may start analyzing even kind words, not because you want to, but because you had to. It's a pattern rooted in protection. Protection from disappointment, manipulation, or betrayal. 2. Emotional masking in social settings. Social gatherings, once opportunities for connection, become emotionally exhausting. You may find yourself wearing a poker face, hiding discomfort, sadness, or anxiety behind practiced smiles or neutral expressions. This habit stems from having once been punished, judged, or ridiculed for showing emotions. Vulnerability was used against you, so the brain learned to guard everything. Emotional masking isn't coldness, it's a defense. It says, don't let them in. They might hurt you like the last one did. Over time, this emotional suppression becomes automatic, especially around new people or large groups. You may seem calm on the outside while chaos brews within. 3. Obsessive tidiness and control over environment. When emotional life feels unpredictable, physical order becomes a way to self-soothe. Cleaning or organizing becomes more than a chore. It turns into a form of therapy. Scrubbing floors, rearranging shelves, or deep cleaning a space offers something tangible to control when everything else once felt unsafe. For survivors of narcissistic abuse, who often lived in an environment of shifting rules and unpredictable criticism, this control can bring momentary peace. It's a way to create safety, even if only on the surface. The spotless countertop isn't just about hygiene. It's about reclaiming something that once felt out of reach. Stability. 4. Safety rituals, repeatedly checking locks. The sense of danger doesn't disappear when the abuse ends. It's stored deep within the nervous system. Checking that the door is locked again and again isn't just forgetfulness. It's a mental ritual rooted in trauma. This behavior often stems from feeling emotionally unsafe for a long time. Locking doors becomes symbolic, a way to draw boundaries, to protect yourself, to feel in control when the world doesn't feel secure. It's not about the door, it's about what it represents, a line between you and the past. 5. Choosing solitude to reclaim autonomy. After experiencing chronic control or judgment, solitude can become a sanctuary. Eating alone, traveling solo, or choosing independence over social company doesn't always come from antisocial tendencies. Sometimes it's about healing. Doing things alone is a powerful way to reconnect with your own voice. In past relationships, choices were often made for you, or criticized, until you stopped choosing at all. Now, solitude allows space to rediscover what you actually enjoy. It becomes a way to restore agency and reconnect with selfhood. 6. Struggling to speak about the past. When it comes time to talk about personal experiences, words may not come easily. You might find yourself stammering, going silent, or losing your train of thought altogether. This isn't a communication issue. It's a trauma response. The brain often struggles to put traumatic memories into words. The body remembers the pain, and that pain creates roadblocks in speech. There's a storm of emotion behind the eyes, but letting it out means reliving moments that still sting. It's not weakness. It's the cost of holding in pain for too long without a safe space to release it. 7. Over-apologizing for everything. Apologizing for things that aren't your fault becomes second nature after narcissistic abuse. You might say, "sorry," when someone bumps into you, or when you express a need, or simply for existing in someone's space. This pattern develops from being blamed repeatedly for things out of your control. Over time, the brain wires itself to believe, everything is my fault. Even minor actions feel like potential triggers for anger or disappointment from others. The apology is a preemptive strike, a way to keep the peace. But peace that requires you to shrink yourself isn't really peace. 8. Avoiding eye contact as a protective response. Eye contact, once a neutral act of connection, starts to feel unsafe. If you are often met with judgment, sarcasm, or aggression when expressing yourself, looking others in the eye becomes a risk. It's a form of self-preservation. Looking down or away becomes safer than the possibility of facing contempt or being read too deeply. Avoiding eye contact is not about disrespect. It's about protection. It's a shield against the possibility of emotional exposure. 9. Anxiety when voicing opinions. Even in calm environments, presenting ideas or asserting needs can trigger panic. Your heart races, breath shortens, and your thoughts scatter. Hyperventilating or freezing in moments of self-expression is common after enduring constant dismissal or invalidation. The fear isn't about the topic. It's about the trauma of not being heard. Every time you speak up, you battle the internal belief that your voice doesn't matter. That belief was taught, reinforced, and weaponized in the past. It takes time and compassion to unlearn. 10. Discomfort with praise and recognition. Compliments, no matter how sincere, may feel foreign or even threatening. You might brush them off, downplay your accomplishments, or respond with self-deprecation. This discomfort stems from years of being told you weren't enough, or being praised only when it served someone else's agenda. Accepting praise now feels risky, almost like setting yourself up for a future letdown. But avoiding praise doesn't make it untrue. You are worthy, even when your brain hasn't caught up with that reality yet. The unseen cost of narcissistic abuse. These behaviors are not flaws. They are responses, deeply ingrained, often subconscious, crafted in response to emotional harm. To the outsider, they may look strange, but behind every behavior is a story of survival. Narcissistic abuse doesn't just affect how a person thinks, it reshapes how they live. From how safety is defined to how self-worth is measured, nothing remains untouched. These behaviors are not permanent. They are signals that healing is needed, and that healing is possible. The way out, healing is not linear, but it's real. Rebuilding after narcissistic abuse takes time. It takes safety, compassion, and support, ideally from trauma-informed therapists, trusted friends, or support groups who understand. The process isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about reconnecting to what was buried: your voice, your choices, your worth. Each small shift, holding eye contact a second longer, accepting a compliment without brushing it off, choosing connection over isolation, is a step toward reclaiming your life. And while trauma may shape certain behaviors, it doesn't define who you are. You are more than what was done to you. You deserve peace, autonomy, and love that doesn't come with conditions or fear. Closing thoughts. From survival to self-compassion. There's no shame in the scars you carry. They're proof you endured what many couldn't even imagine. But endurance isn't where your story ends. These weird behaviors aren't character flaws. They're survival strategies, crafted under pressure and pain. Recognizing them is the first step toward change. Giving yourself permission to grow past them is the next. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to begin again, on your own terms.